What do you think of cancel culture, or of our woke Prime Minister who values virtue signaling above all else? Stay tuned, and I'll tell you what I think. It has become trendy for those on the left side of the political spectrum to try and cancel things, or to make empty virtue signals, to make it look like they're taking action. Often, these attempts end up doing the opposite of what the intended goal was. Look at the Liberals and the NDP, how quick they were to accept cancelling Canada Day and criticizing those who didn't. Both parties hinted that it was okay to cancel the celebrations on July 1st and instead use it as a time to reflect as a nation. Celebrators to them were a group of racists that deserved to be degraded. Now, there is no doubt that significant mistakes were made in our past. Residential schools brought harm to our Indigenous people. But instead of delivering action for these Indigenous communities and providing a plan for meaningful reconciliation, the left would rather post on social media and shame you for celebrating our nation. Not only is cancel culture nothing but virtue signaling, it is dangerous. Churches are burning, statues of our Queen are defaced, and our history is destroyed because Justin and Jagmeet are legitimizing the cause. We are only steps away from burning books. How did loving our country become a bad thing? Canada is not a perfect nation, and the legacy of residential schools is a very dark part of our history. But Canada is not that country today. Canada is a country which seeks reconciliation with our First Nations, a country that wants to do better than it did yesterday and take the long-needed steps to come together as a nation. The fact that our country seeks this is worthy of pride. Today, Canada is a country where people can come and be free. They can be free from persecution and live in their own traditions. This value stems from our complex colonial history, where we had to find tolerance between Francophones, Anglophones, Catholics, Anglicans, and Protestants. We weren't perfect then, but it is that history that shapes our tolerance today. My own family came to Saskatchewan as Mennonites, fleeing persecution from Germany and Russia for our faith. If it was not for Canada as a place of refuge, we would likely have been victims of genocide in the German Empire, Tsarist and Soviet Russia. It is not racist to fly the Canadian flag or celebrate our day as a nation. But Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh would have you believe otherwise. They believe we should cancel everything associated with Canada Day. They believe that because our past was imperfect, we should live in permanent shame. It is vital we hold on to our history so we are able to learn from it. Just as Canada's history taught us tolerance, it can teach us reconciliation. In the novel 1984, Orwell wrote, quote, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past," end quote. And when Jerry Butts, Justin Trudeau's senior advisor, says that burning churches across our province is understandable, he is weaponizing the past against us. I'm saddened by these politicians who look at the toppling of statues, the burning of churches, and the defacement of our nation as progress. That's not progress. It is dystopian. We cannot cancel our history. We cannot pit people against each other. We can't censor people like the Liberals with C10 and C36 just because we disagree with them. We need to be united and build up our country through common sense and coming together as one. We must work through the calls to reconciliation. We must provide clean drinking water. We must continue to teach our children about tolerance and love. I'm proud of my country for what it is and what it can be. I will never stop waving the Canadian flag.